3, 2, 1.
Hello once again, everyone. Welcome to Jabronis United. I am your host for today, the sniper, Kyle Krieger. With me today is the Big C, Caden Ballant. Is that how you pronounce your last name? Ballant?
Balint, but yeah.
Ballant, there we go. Unfortunately, as per usual, Ryan is still currently out dealing with family matters, and Davion may join us later, depending. But right now we got us two going on strong. We got a whole bunch of topics to talk about today. But first, welcome to the show, Caden. How you doing?
Thanks for having me, man. I mean, late edition, late call to the bullpen, and I'll take it. I mean, I'm glad to be here. I do have a really big passion for wrestling, so being able to talk about the inner workings of it, what's going on behind the scenes before the big Elimination Chamber on Saturday it's going to be fun.
That is true. That is true. A lot of good stuff happened. Pardon me. A lot of good stuff happened in the wrestling world. But first, we got a bit of a continuation with some more of the unfortunate TNA fallout stemming from Scott D'Amore getting fired. So over some, I forget which day. I think it was on like February 19th. So earlier this week, a series of social media posts coming from a good number of TNA wrestlers basically came out. So main thing is, what do you think this hourglass means? Because look at all of them. It's like we got Josh Alexander, Jordan Grace, Tommy Dreamer, Speedball Mike Bailey, and more, all posting this. What do you think it means?
Here's the weird thing about it is that after the firing of Scott D'Amore, Tommy Dreamer was announced as the head of creative, was announced as the head of it. So why he's doing something about it is weird as well. Obviously, like, your top guys, Josh Alexander and Speedball Mike Bailey, for example, or even Jordan Grace. Like, if this firing of Scott D'Amore really killed the happiness of the locker room and like the chemistry of the locker room, just firing out of nowhere after TNA seemed to be back on the up and rising. I mean, they just had not too long ago, they just had Hard to Kill, and that was amazing. Nick Namath, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, made his TNA debut then, with the attack on Moose after the fact. So it's a whole lot of different stuff. I mean, they're going back to what TNA used to be, just this not I wouldn't say competitor, but just an alternative spot to look at wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, kind of like what we went into 2 weeks ago. It felt like it came out of nowhere. And while some details came out as to like the reasoning why, like there were multiple reasons why, a lot of rumor mills, nothing was really truly confirmed, aside from that a lot of the locker room was caught off guard by it. And what made it even crazier was the fact that he had such a good working relationship with that locker room, and the higher ups just basically is like, nope, you're out. We're gonna put in our guy. It was a really bad time to rock the boat, but it certainly felt that, well, the term I heard some people use was TNA gonna TNA, but they had a lot of good things going, and they just uprooted this, and it's like, what does this mean? It's like, it was just context free, unless it's like, could it be that they're just counting down until their contracts are expiring or something, or is it going to be? Are they timing themselves down to drop a bombshell? Like, I just this one just confuses me. It could mean a
My
whole
whole
bunch of things, but it doesn't feel like anything is. It doesn't feel like anything good.
It doesn't. And my whole thing is, I don't. Do we fully have a reason as to why D Moore was fired yet? Because what I've seen, there hasn't been a reason. And if they just fired him out of the blue just to place one of their guys, so they can, so the higher ups of TNA or the owner of TNA can control it, then that's definitely a bad look. And like examples, like obviously we see Chris Bay, Speedball Mike Bailey,
Mm-hmm.
Josh Alexander, Jordan Grace. Like, if they want out, they're gonna go and they're gonna make a lot of fans happy in different companies.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And even D'Amore will probably get picked up by WWE or AEW because they saw what he did or what he was able to do, and it's like another thing that came out was a letter uh from a lot of the locker room, signed by a lot of the members of the locker room, basically like just reading through this letter, it's like it's basically saying that they're not happy with this choice. And like no offense to the guy that they put in as the new head, it's like they feel that it should be a wrestling person should be involved with the high level decision making, so things would keep going well, rather than just some TV executive from outside of wrestling, but they're basically buddy buddy with the executives of Anthem. So it's like, and they even say it's like they do not necessarily know all the facts or details of it, but they're basically like this letter basically said the best possible person for the role was Scott. So it's like there's definitely some unrest in there. And well, yeah, the it seems that right as of right now, it seems that they're still being professional on screen, still doing their job, still doing the storylines that are in place, doing what they need to do, but it feels that this one it feels like they're definitely not happy right now.
No, definitely not. And to quickly jump back to the start of Scott D'Amore, like you mentioned, like he's gonna get picked up, but I mean, obviously, WWE should jump right at the fact, and he could easily skyrocket
Mhm.
that the writing capability and how the company is gonna look and how the product is gonna look. But if AEW wants to continue to skyrocket their product, he should be a number one get. He should
Oh,
be
absolutely.
Tony Khan should be ringing him up right away, saying, "I will write you a blank check if you come here and do what you did what you did at TNA. Do that with AEW. Help us out, and I'll write you a blank check. I'll make you a multi-billionaire."
I wouldn't go that far, but definitely make him an offer that would entice him, that WWE might see and then go, okay, you could take him or something like that. Because in terms of money, WWE will definitely should most likely throw out the better offer because they got a lot more money involved. But or TKO or whatever the hell they want to call him. Do I think he would do wonders for AEW? Absolutely. He would certainly, he certainly has the name now. He certainly has shown that he's capable of pushing a product, of pretty much revitalizing again with all the stuff that's happened with AEW the past 6 months or so. They absolutely could use someone like a I'm not I'm not sure if I should use the word solidifying force or just someone who can help calm down the craziness that seems to be currently going on in the AEW front office.
I would say
So
probably more of a calming force, like helping calm the waters and
okay,
help be like help steady the ship, like because
yes,
they're in a big boatload right now, and they have been in a big boatload since the whole Punk situation, and it's been like that, and it's been terrible.
yeah, it's been completely choppy waters. And don't get me wrong, some of the storylines are still pretty good, but it feels that well, it's what there are two things AEW is doing good right now. One, putting the belt on Samoa Joe and give and to give to my words are giving me a very hard time today, but it was a very smart word. It was a very smart idea to put the title on Samoa Joe, because he could definitely carry the company while everyone else in the title picture is getting healed up. So yeah, so basically it'll give MJF some time to recover, because it seemed that apparently he was hurting a lot. So he definitely needed some time off. So Joe, I think, is a good person to have the belt on in the meantime. And the other really good thing that they have going for them is anything Christian Cage does. So they have good things going. It's just it feels that the AEW boat is currently on choppy waters, given that they haven't really been able to build up many other people. They definitely need to do more with Swerve Strickland. Like he is a main eventer at this point.
He is the next AEW World
He
Champion.
should be. He absolutely should be. And you have Edge. Edge is there. He could definitely still put on a great show. You have Sting's retirement tour happening, and which I think that they could be doing a lot better with. You still have the Hardys, even though they're definitely not main event material anymore. They could still put on a decent storyline if they need to. Just minimize their time in the ring matches, like have them be more managers or mentors and going through that. And they have a fantastic set of women. Like Timeless Tony Storm is fantastic. Like that was her revamp was phenomenal. Like absolutely phenomenal. And they have good things going, but they need someone to, to captain that ship. And and I think Scott D'Amore would definitely have the biggest impact in AEW if he does go somewhere else. Pardon the pun, but either way, he could easily be poached or easily be picked up by WWE by just by them essentially throwing him a lot of money at it. So yeah, they could do a lot of things. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Absolutely.
And just imagine, like, look at the names that are potentially coming in to AEW: Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, and Mercedes Moné. Like, if you have someone to sit there and captain that ship, like you were mentioning with Scott D'Amore, it's gonna make the addition of those three even better. It's gonna make it more seamless. It's gonna make it so much easier for them.
Absolutely. And so it's like he will definitely land on his feet, and it's definitely still a really big goof by TNA to do what they did. And yeah. So
I do want to mention Jeff's comment right there.
Yeah,
House of Black needs
I
to
agree.
be utilized. Why Malachi Black has not had a singles match in I don't know how long is beyond me. He is a world champion caliber wrestler, and Tony Khan puts him on the sidelines.
Yeah,
it's
the same thing happened to him back when he was in WWE. When he came to AEW and had the House of Black being pushed, people were into it. That was fantastic, and then it just drifted off to the side. It shows that the writers have a difficult time focusing on more than one or two things. Then that's not good. So having D'Amore there to essentially organize everything to get to get that writer's room to be able to handle multiple storylines instead of whatever the heck they're doing right now. And also, speaking of AEW, they did bring in a former WWE writer and a former soap opera writer. So, what was her name? Where is it? Jennifer Pepperman. AEW hires Jennifer Pepperman as VP of Content Development, and that one kind of confuses me a little bit because it's like she has worked for WWE before as a senior writer. That's not necessarily a good thing right now. Because a lot of the writers that jumped ship were part of Vince's writing crew and were hired by him. And granted, yeah, not everyone was basically being a mouthpiece for Vince, no doubt. I just figure that might not be the best option, considering AEW wants to differentiate themselves from WWE to be that other option, to be the one to take in those people who are tired of WWE writing. I don't think hiring WWE major writers, like major figures in the WWE writing crew from the past few years, should be the highest priority. Like it's like, don't get me wrong, they definitely earned their positions for sure. Like they're definitely good writers. It's just there is a certain style that was pushed in the WWE writing room that I don't think AEW should be aiming for. And the other thing about Jennifer Pepperman is that she comes from a soap opera writing background. And WWE is basically soap opera for boys, or it's fighting. It's basically combat soap opera. I'm not gonna say no. Soap opera for boys is no. That's a dumb term. I apologize for that. It is for everyone for sure, but a certain style of writing goes into soap operas, and while it's fine to have a voice like that in the writing room, I don't think it should be a senior position.
And
yeah, it is a Julia Hart show right now. I agree. They should bring. Yes, no, I do agree with that. Well, no, WWE is certainly pro wrestling. It can be. Under Vince, it was definitely more towards the entertainment side, but that's what pro wrestling is. It's you want to put on an entertaining show. So having entertainment writers on there is a good thing. It just can't be entirely filled by them. And well, AEW should also put on entertainment too. It just, I'm glad that they focus more on the matches than the dialogue. But both need to be there. It's like if you veer too far one way or the other, it can suffer. You need to strike that good balance. Like I would say 70, like maybe 70-30 or 80-20. 75-25 of in-ring and then your out-of-ring segments. But you need good promos. But that also depends on the talent of the wrestlers. So I think you need a balance. And I'm sure that move could be fine. Yeah. I just hope that it's not going to dominate the AEW writer room. I think it would be better to, like I said, to pick up Scott D'Amore, have him right the ship, get it back on smooth sailing, and then you can evolve from that.
And it's a funny thing that you mentioned Jennifer Pepperman coming in, because there's one big connection that she has that we were talking about, and that's Mercedes Moné, which, coincidentally enough, March 13th, I was just able to look that up, AEW has Big Business, which is happening in Boston, Massachusetts, at the TD Garden. Mercedes Moné is a Boston Massachusetts-born girl. She's a Massachusetts-born and raised. That's her place. It's big business. Mercedes Moné. We're gonna see dollar bills raining from the sky. Monet is gonna play across the loudspeaker, and it's gonna be one of the loudest pops we've ever heard. Deserved. And I think Peppermint is going to really help her get set in AEW as well. But like you said, a VP spot for one of Vince's old, I wouldn't say lackeys, but one of Vince's old writers is a very interesting move.
Yeah. I'm not going to call her. She's not a lackey. She was just part of the writing crew during a heavy Vince time. Oh God, please no. He is basically persona non grata right now in the wrestling world. Yeah, you might see like see older wrestlers say that, oh, I had a great relationship with him. Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure they did. It's just he turned out to be though it shouldn't really come as a surprise to us given given that we grew up during at least I grew up during the Attitude Era. It just he needs to be he needs to be gone. And as we'll get into later with another little detail in a future topic, it seems that those who were the closest to him are also becoming that as well. But that's beside the point. So, but we do that is, and I think Scott D'Amore will land on his feet for sure, and let's see who gets him.
It's gonna be an interesting. Fishing moment for both AEW and WWE to see who can pick up this big fish.
Yep.
Because, and especially with Scott D'Amore, if AEW signs him, you can see a lot of those TNA stars following him over there. And the same thing with WWE.
Yep. And speaking of TNA stars, let's bring in. We got ourselves a bit of contract confusion going on involving Josh Alexander. TNA extended his contract, but it comes at a time where he goes and it comes out that he did not want them to extend his contract.
So from what I
No. Sorry, Jeff. No.
From what I've seen about this whole situation is, they had Josh Alexander set up for a contract extension with TNA, and that's when TNA was starting their big rise back to the top. I think he had it set. His contract was ending in 2025, but he put up an early extension. And after D'Amore was fired, he went to them, and now he kind of wants to he wants to view the landscape, see how everything plays out, look at every situation possible for him. Which for a guy like Josh Alexander, absolutely. Goes to them, says, I might opt out. I'm not sure. I don't want to renew my contract right now anymore. Weirdly enough, TNA just extends Josh Alexander's contract. For how long, we don't know. If this is true, if this is a true thing about his whole contract being extended by TNA, this is going to kill his relationship if he did want to go. If he wanted out of TNA in the first place, if he did not want to go after Scott D'Amore was gone, then he will never go back there. If he's going to be stuck there, he's going to go the minute his contract's up.
Mm-hmm. It's like when a wrestler wants either their release, or if they say, please don't renew me, please start writing me out or something like that, and you just go and say, no, we're re-signing you anyway. It reminds me of what happened to Mustafa Ali.
Yep.
So, while I don't think that's necessarily going to happen to Josh Alexander, considering he's such a main figure in TNA right now. Hell, he's like the Impact champion, so it's like he's a main eventer for them. So I don't think they're just gonna basically demote him to catering right away. It's, I don't know. This one is confusing for me because it's like it's still too early to see what's gonna happen. Like, I'm sure that there's like something like this. It definitely wouldn't sit well with him, for sure. And especially given on how close his relationship to Scott was, going back to Demore, it just this one is a very this one can really go in a number of different directions depending on how Josh Alexander responds to it.
Yeah.
So
and he's a team player, so like he's
Yes.
not gonna
he's a company guy.
and say,
Or
he extended my contract, I'm not gonna fight, I'm not gonna do anything. Like, he's still gonna be a team player. If they're gonna continue a world championship reign with him, they're gonna continue to make a main eventer, he's gonna sit there and say, yeah, give it to me. But he's gonna continue to use all of the stuff that they're gonna put him in as leverage for when he goes.
Yeah, it just means that it's gonna make it even harder to even attempt to re-sign him. But it's in the world of wrestling. If you have someone under contract and then extend it, you basically have even more time to essentially bury the guy if they so desire. Do I think that they'll do that? No, but that possibility is there, or they could just basically mid card the heck out of him. And it's, I don't think
even
it's
the
like
fans would let that happen. The fans wouldn't even let Josh
well,
out.
the fans could revolt certainly if he has that much of a following. But it's not like he can lead a crowd. It's like, how can I put it? He's definitely popular with the TNA fans. It's not like he can completely divert the flow of a storyline like, say, Bryan Danielson did, or how Cody Rhodes did. So it's like, could he? Potentially. I'm not sure if something like this has been seen in TNA. So we'll see how that goes, but it could be a lot of different. It could go in a lot of different ways. So, do I think it's a good move that they extended him? Not really, because you don't want a disgruntled main eventer on your roster. No matter how professional they may be, it's like, if they're disgruntled, you're probably not going to get that 110% that you'd want from him. And then he'd be certainly, he would only put in the effort to get signed elsewhere.
Like, they've had disgruntled main eventers before in the past, and like we said before, TNA get a TNA, and it sucks that there's so many guys that, and it's not even just TNA, because there's a lot of disgruntled main eventers all across across each company, but for TNA to be a constant one of doing it, I mean, one example I can think of is how pissed off both AJ Styles and Sting were back.
Oh yeah.
That was Road to Kill, I think. It was the Jeff Hardy
Something
situation.
like that. Yeah.
It was the whole Jeff Hardy situation. Sting, AJ Styles going to Jeff Hardy at that time and telling him that he almost quit wrestling because of Hardy's situation, what Hardy did. That's obviously disgruntled. I mean, another thing with TNA, I think it was TNA, Austin Aries, after being pinned by Johnny Mundo, Johnny Wrestling, he just got up and walked away. No sells a finish like that. Like, it happens way too much in TNA. You cannot continue to have a continuation of history. You have to break history.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like, even at their highs, they're still kind of TNA, basically. Yeah, I don't know. This is basically a story in progress. So we'll see what happens as time goes on, and see how he responds to it. So
100%.
Indeed. So but yeah, overall, not a good look for TNA, especially with all the other stuff that's been going on. So, but yeah. So moving on, I'd like to bring in a new little thing to the show for the 10 o'clock hour called 3 Count Topics, where us here at Jabronis United will follow suit with something that is very common in wrestling, the 1, 2, 3 count. And this is where we will bring up 3 semi-quick topics just to basically cover some more additional headlines for the day. So hope you enjoy it. So for number 1 of our 3 count topic, Gunther has become the longest reigning combined length Intercontinental Champion, passing, I believe it was Pedro Morales as the number 1 IC champ. So let me just pull that on up. So
I am the biggest Gunther guy. I love the Ring General. He is not only is he the best champion on the main roster right now across every champion there. He is the greatest Intercontinental Champion of the modern day and of all time. And I'm gonna sit and die on that hill. I'm not sure if it's a super hot topic hill, but he is the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, without a doubt.
Yeah, and yes, he beat Pedro Morales' total, and he passed Honky Tonk Man's total. That's the other one who I couldn't get the name off the tip of my tongue. So Gunther at 455 plus days.
He's just and obviously, like, you
don't need Imperium.
You don't need a lot of title reigns to be the greatest or something. Like, I understand that, and obviously you're in a contention with a lot of guys. I mean, the Honky Tonk Man, the Miz, Macho Man Randy Savage, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon. There are some amazing Intercontinental Champions throughout the history of the WWE. Gunther surpasses all of them. He is the longest reigning NXT UK champion of all time. Like, he had Ilya Dragunov beat him on that amazing reign, which could be something that could happen with the Intercontinental Championship. If Ilya Dragunov somehow drops that NXT Championship, I could definitely see him being a contender for Gunther's Intercontinental Championship. But you cannot. I mean, you can keep Gunther this long, but eventually, Gunther is going to be a world champion.
What the heck? Did I change? Hold on. Nope. There you go. Sorry. That was a weird little hiccup there with my computer. Hold on. Sorry. Hit the wrong button. Changed. I got a lot of family pictures on here too. I'm not sure why it showed that. I think I might have just clicked the wrong button. There we go. We got Gunther again. And yes, I did want him to. I do agree. I did want him to win the Rumble. So yeah. No, I'm still getting used to this program. Ryan's the master at it. I'm still learning it. Leave me alone. But yeah, Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect.
Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect,
both very good. But yeah, I do agree. I would have loved to see him win the Rumble. I've been a fan of him for a while, Gunther, even when he was like Walter or whatever he was called. Like, the guy basically turned his character into this just absolute monster. And it works so friggin' well. But like with a lot of wrestlers who have a title for an eternity, pardon the pun, reigns has to change. Reigns have to change over time. You need to get some new blood in. And like I do. I'm not sure if it should be Pillman to take it from him, but they definitely do need to build someone up first to be able to win the title off of him. And I'm not sure who it could be. Could they bring back Nakamura? Could they take whoever loses one of the world title matches at WrestleMania and have them be Gunther's next challenge who eventually gets it from him? But I'm interested in seeing how long this run goes. And it's like I complained so much about Reigns holding the title for forever, but the way I think of it is there are you have two examples in WWE of long time title holders in two different ways, and you could see the two different reactions that people get with him. Like, people are tired of Reigns, but they're not tired of Gunther. Or at least
And it's
not
because
that
Gunther's a
I've seen.
fighting champion.
There's the difference. Thank you.
It's all about fighting champions. I mean, Seth, he's had a really long reign, and I'm not going to say that he hasn't had a long reign because I think it's coming near a year, somewhat up. I think after Mania a year, but he's held the title for a while, and people are thinking it's getting stale because he's beating a lot of guys who people want to be world champion. I mean, Nakamura, Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre before. Finn Balor, but now, like, he's still loved because he's defending it. He's going out there and he's defending, even injured, he's defending. Yep. Reigns has one defense every
3-4 months.
Yeah, well, every 3-4 months of a pay-per-view showing up, like
on a main. Yeah, he shows up for a main pay-per-view. It's pulling a Brock Lesnar all over again. And the thing is it's people are so tired of that because that's been the essentially that title, the WWE's like the Universal titles run for the past like 5 years, whether it be Reigns or Brock Lesnar. We've had two Universal title holders in the past half a decade. Two.
It's bad because I always make the comparison to Brock in 2018 because Brock in 2018 just barely wanted to show up, barely did show up. Like, yeah, I get it.
But Reigns, that was who they kept pushing for the title, and then they bring in Reigns, and it's like, all right, fine. He's come back from leukemia. He's great, and he's all right, fine. Put the title on him for a bit. He's heel turn. All right, this is really cool. This is something different, and he's putting on good matches. All right. And then it's just like, oh God, it's deja vu all over again.
It's just a continuation of the same thing that everyone was sick of, and everyone is getting sick of it. I sit there and refuse to acknowledge a tribal chief. I have never. I will always acknowledge against him. So whenever Jay was acknowledging, I would always acknowledge Jay. But anything against the tribal chief, I've always been not a fan of Reigns. I've always been a hater of Reigns. Not a hater,
but I'm not a hater of Reigns. It's like I try not to be a hater of Reigns because I understand like the hell that he probably went through with especially with the treatments, and I respect that to no end.
Yeah,
it's just I think that the writers failed his character. Absolutely failed in his booking. And no match is a clean win. And don't get me wrong, I love myself a smarmy heel. I love smarmy heels. Like, I love what Christian does. I loved what Seth Rollins did. Like, I love me a chicken shit heel. I love it. It's just with Reigns, it's the same old shit. Day in, day out. It's just pounding the same nail over and over again. And it's just so friggin' tiring.
Here's the hilarious thing to me. Even at the Rumble, in a fatal 4-way match, where you don't need anything.
It's
He still needed Solo to come out there and help him. Like,
you could have given him that one clean win before the WrestleMania, and they couldn't do that.
Like, how are you going to have a guy who is supposed to be the greatest of this generation, and you can't even have him win clean in a fatal 4-way match?
And like I said, don't get me wrong. If it like have the smarmy heel cheat to win, okay, that's fine. It's just you gotta pepper something in there. Otherwise, it's just the same old stale piece of bread.
Because we know what we're gonna get every single time.
It's like I said, I haven't missed a Reigns prediction in the past year because of it. It's just and it's like the moment he won at WrestleMania last year, I'm like, well, there's zero chance at belts coming off of him before WrestleMania of next year, because you're not going to have someone of this streak of this length of title holding lose at anything but a WrestleMania. That's the other part about having the title hold on for that long. It's like it becomes so predictable, so stupid, and it's like I can't watch that match because I know what's going to happen. And it has happened every single match that all 4 of his matches that he's had since last WrestleMania. And I don't have to accept jack squat.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it kind of did. Yeah, no, you're right with Shayna Baszler. Yeah, and it's a shame because Baszler is a great character, great wrestler, great character, way better than Ronda freaking Rousey for sure. But the thing is, what they're doing, what they should have done with Baszler, they're doing with what's her name now? I'm just having fun with the names today. But with
Io Sky?
No, why? I apologize. I apologize to everyone on how my memory is just not working with names today. It's not Io Sky, the other one. Mommy.
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Rhea Ripley. Sometimes my brain does not like to work with names. I am terrible with names, even though I know exactly who I'm talking about. I forget names, so I do apologize for that right now. But yes, Rhea Ripley. They're doing what they should have done with Shayna Baszler with Rhea Ripley right now, and it's fantastic. But back to Gunther, and it's like what they're doing with Gunther as a long-term title holder is they're doing it right for now. But I think, going on Jeff's comment here, I do agree there. I do not think that he is going to. I agree. I think he will retain it at WrestleMania, and he'll probably lose that Survivor Series. I think that I think would be the best move for him, for his storyline. That way, it's like you have him win at WrestleMania. You have time to establish someone, to build them up to be able to break that streak. Because breaking a long-term streak on just some schmuck, just some random person, that discredits it. Build them up first. Like, all right, fine. Have whoever it is lose the match to Gunther at the pay-per-view after WrestleMania or something like that. Have them get pissed off and create a storyline out of that. And then have them win the title, culminate it at SummerSlam. That, I think, could be very good writing. Not just because I thought of it.
I think he's talking about Reigns there, and I worry. I
hope not.
I sit there and I worry because I fear he might be right. At some points, I fear like the WWE just wants to rid Hogan of
just wipe it. Kind of like what they did with AJ Lee in the women's title right after she left.
Yeah.
But the Bellas came in at the right place at the right time, so they got to have the record. But yeah. So moving on. our next topic to discuss
This is the fun one.
is this one. This one is this one I'm kind of quite happy with. Hold on, why am I not getting the names? Hold on. I am not sure why I'm not getting the names here, but nope, that's not it. I'm just gonna be
Awesome.
pressing buttons until I find the right one. But
With the roster, they added with
Whatever.
the Legend section, a Raw, SmackDown, and NXT.
mm-hmm. But yes, so yep. So yeah, let's our next topic. So 2 of our 3 count. The WWE 2K24 roster has been revealed, full roster as far as we know. So this is probably one of the largest rosters I've seen in a wrestling game for quite some time. Yeah, thanks. I love Jeopardy. But yeah, so they got, being that the theme of this WrestleMania is 40 years of WrestleMania, which rightfully so, I think that's great. You are going to get a lot of big names. Like, look at this. We got people ranging from Andre the Giant, Macho Man Randy Savage, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Bret Hart, British Bulldog, Cactus. China's in a game. Finally, China returns to
Dude
a
Love is
wrestling
back.
game. Well, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you have Dude Love, you'll have Mick Foley, Mankind, Mankind. The Mick Foley will probably be mixed in there somewhere. Dude Love, Cactus Jack. So if you're gonna have one, you're gonna have the rest of them.
A really cool one. Ken Shamrock made his return.
Yeah, Ken Shamrock. I was very happy about that one. Got multiple forms of Hulk Hogan. Eric Bischoff. Diesel, Doink, Eve Torres, sure. Yeah, I figured that you'll have Lita, you have Trish. Doesn't show Jacqueline or Tori Wilson, or does it? Nope,
Big
doesn't.
Pump. I just did see
Big Pump.
Pump.
Yep. There's a Scott Steiner, Scott Hall, Rousey, Rikishi. Though sadly, I wish that in addition to Rikishi, they would bring in Sky Tuhati and Grandmaster Sexay, God rest his soul. Just got Muhammad Ali. No Mike Tyson, sadly. That would have been cool. But then again, to get the rights for him, probably would have to pay a lot more. But Hurricane.
I love
another one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Uncle Howdy. You got I believe Bray Wyatt's in there along with the Fiend. So but yeah, lot. William Regal.
I'm about to say William Regal.
Hold on, let me switch the sides of that. There we go. That way, when I look over, it looks like I'm looking at the thing. But yeah. So this is a pretty impressive roster.
Onto the Raw roster, some names right there. I did see Bronson Reed. I mean, obviously, you got Gargano, Chelsea Green.
I'm surprised they have Chelsea Green, given no Zack Ryder.
I would love to see him back, but obviously Zack Ryder is dead. It's Matt Cardona now.
Yeah.
The Indie Death King. the indie death guy. He is
the Mighty Duck Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, I'm quite happy about this roster, and I'll probably going to be pre-ordering it now. Probably going to be picking it up. Oh, nice. That's cool. Oh, I didn't know you. You met Shane Helms. Sugar Shane Helms.
Something that I really am loving about this roster is the depth with it, because while yes, it's good to have like your 86s and like your big names, it's also really good to have your depths, like your tag teams like Ivar and Eric, or your JD McDonoughs and your R-Truths, your Santos Escobars and your Taminas, Xia Li, just like extra additional pieces to fill out the roster. It's perfect.
Well, we already have the perfect roster. Drew Kulek's on it. No-fly zone.
I'm really sad with the exclusion of Dragon Lee. That one really upsets me. I've been a big Dragon Lee guy. No CM Punk yet. No Lyra Valkyria or Lash Legend.
They
no
are
Tatum
bringing in him. They're bringing in they will bring in He Who Shall Not Be Named as DLC. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Because usually the rosters is made of the people who are on the roster like 6 months before release.
Yeah.
Like 6 months or earlier. They might be able to throw a couple more on if it's like within like 4 months or 3 months. He popped into WWE little later. So I think he probably just missed the cutoff. So he's going to be in the first DLC, I guarantee it.
And speaking of a He Who Shall Not Be Named, 2 big omissions from this roster, Vince McMahon and Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah, yes, being that you are new to the show, our buddy Jeff here has a burning, seething hatred for the straight edge superstar.
Oh, I should have wore my CM Punk shirt for you, Jeff. Next time I'm on, Jeff, I promise for you.
Ryan already rubs it in his face with his. He has a what's it called, a Funko.
Oh, I need one.
I heard you mentioning that you enjoy. Oh, there's Mick Foley. So there you go. So we got Bobby the Brain, Mick Foley, Paul Bearer, Paul Heyman, Teddy Long. You gonna go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker?
I was lucky enough to meet Teddy at the Albany Comic-Con when they were here.
Nice. Ooh, there's one person I want to see if he's on the roster. No Virgil.
Oh.
They got Ted DiBiase, but no Virgil. Damn. Also don't have IRS. No
I was
IRS.
about to say, is Erwin R. Scheister in there?
No IRS either. Dang. You got Bret Hart, but I'm also surprised no Owen Hart.
I'm not. With Owen Hart, he still has no good standing with the company. His whole thing is
his family doesn't like WWE. It's like I'm sure they've probably asked his family, but yeah, they seem to be still giving the no, which honestly I do not blame them. But the thing is, Owen Hart appeared in the AEW game. Yeah, exactly.
She's a big advocator against WWE with how they treated him.
Yeah.
And how, his whole neglect of safety.
Yeah. No, like I said, I do not blame them at all. But going on this comment, that would be great. Bring in the old President Jack Tunney. But in that case, they should also speaking of older, like the older big names, Jesse the Body Ventura, Captain Lou Albano. Bring in those legends.
I mean, they're already starting to sprinkle them in there. I mean, obviously Bruno Sammartino was right there.
Mm-hmm.
Superstar Billy Graham is there as well. Yeah. Dusty.
Gorilla Monsoon. Yes, I would love that. But it's like, I understand definitely no Vince, even though he was a major figure in either WrestleManias, in being a part of them, but also in the announcement booth. But I was going
to show another later superstar. George the Animal Steel is on this roster as well.
Yeah, so Captain Lou would have been great.
Yeah.
Super Mario. There you go. Stardust. Have Cody Rhodes versus Stardust. Before the AJ Styles.
Yeah.
But however, Stephanie and Shane McMahon are in it.
I'm a big I love Shane McMahon because he's just away from McMahon. He's just
even
there
though
to
he pulled a even though he pulled a Vince the last WrestleMania he was in.
Yeah, that was
Just
sad, but
going in and just it's sad to see his
looking back
in-ring
on it though,
end like
great
that.
again, great save from Snoop Dogg at that moment.
Oh yeah, the
elbow
doggy
drop.
elbow, yeah.
Doggy elbow.
Oh yeah, but yeah, now there's Vince. If you're not gonna have Vince Jr., you're probably not gonna end up bringing Vince Sr. Lord Alfred Hayes would have been good. Same thing with Dino Bravo. That would have been good. Now they're I'm sure we can go for hours on classic WWE wrestlers who would be pretty cool to have in this roster, like Mr. T.
That would be a great one. Especially
he was a major figure in WrestleManias for in the early days for using 1 and 2 as a
Shawn
main
Michaels
figure.
and Stone Cold.
Yeah,
that's the biggest one.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, you got Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold. You got, like I said, I think Mike Tyson should be in it. Mr. T should be in it. But like I said, we could go all day on this. So for those watching, by all means, throw in your comments. Tell me who you want to see inside WrestleMania 2K24 as legendary figures. That would be great.
WWE 2K24 comes out March 8th. We're not a sponsor.
Send us games, we'll play them.
Please,
but yes, so
please.
But yeah, so indeed. So let's move on to our next topic. So there is an early candidate for Hater of the Year. Can you guess who that might be?
I mean, so you got a couple. There's a couple good options out there. I mean, Carmelo Hayes with Trick Williams breaking up the Trick Mello gang. Even though, again, Mello just let Trick put Trick in front of Mello gang. That's always been Mello gang. You obviously got Jimmy going after his brother, being a big hater. Santos Escobar is still there, but the number one hater of the year is Drew McIntyre. He's prayed for this.
Absolutely.
And it happened.
He's putting out some of the he is just absolutely going all out on anything involving CM Punk. And it is just it's funny how we keep coming back to that guy to him. But it's just absolutely fantastic. So, but yeah, so it's like we got Drew McIntyre, Jimmy Uso, Carmelo Hayes, and Santos Escobar as probably the 4 early front runners of it. But my vote is going absolutely to Mr. McIntyre here. He is absolutely most hate. No. Christian Cage is the heel of the year so far. But when it comes to hater of the year, there is a certain individual that's just been going every chance he gets.
And I think this certain individual...
Just trying to find a good picture of it.
I think this certain individual should also be winning the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, but we'll get to that in short due time.
But yeah, so it's... Where is it?
And Drew has been relentless, not only with CM Punk, but with Seth, with Cody. I mean, behind the scenes, all over social media. He's been just diabolical, and it's amazing. It's wonderful to see a heel like that, where he just hates everybody, and I love it.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful, and I don't know. I'm just having a hard time finding the stinking shirt, but yes, we can go all day. I apologize, no image for this one, but it's just I hope Drew or LA Knight wins the Chamber and faces Seth. I hope it's Drew because just what he's been doing has been beautiful. It's been a pure chef's kiss, in my opinion. So, but yeah, so in my early Hater of the Year nominee, get Drew McIntyre's getting my vote.
I agree. It's Drew McIntyre, 100%, 110%.
But yes, so that is our 1, 2, 3 count of topics, and we are reaching the end, near the end of our show. So we are going to finish it off once again with some predictions. We got Elimination Chamber coming up. I was gonna say, speaking of Elimination Chamber, Drew agreed. Drew tested, Drew approved.
There's 4 listed matches for the card, and something
so
that
far.
I find
Yes, so let me just pull that one up for us. Share the screen.
And while you pull it up, something
Ryan
that I
is
find
a lot better
interesting
at this than I am.
is the last show, the Royal Rumble, was a 4-card show, and obviously the Rumbles are going to take up half the card. But it's just interesting that there's 2 straight shows are 4-card shows, starting off with the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships between the New Catch Republic, formerly known as the British Strong Style, and the Judgment Day.
Yep. Yeah, so it's like this one. Honestly, I think that it's a good matchup. I think it is an absolutely fantastic matchup we got for this. It's because the thing is, it's like with the rebranding of Butch back to his original name, great move. And it's just, I think that they built up New Catch Republic pretty well to make this a match that you can probably watch and not know exactly what's going to happen immediately. Finn and Punishment. Punishment Martinez. I love it.
Which, in this case, with him mentioning them, I think I do agree. I think that it's just not time to take the titles off of the Judgment Day. And there's a lot of ways that this can go about, like R-Truth costing Judgment Day the Tag Team Championships, but also he would come out and cost New Catch Republic the Tag Team Championships. I just think there's a lot of factors at play, and it's going to come down to the Judgment Day coming out with the Tag Team Championships and still.
So all right, so you're gonna go with Judgment Day?
I'm gonna be on the side of Judgment Day on this one.
Okay, all right. Now see me, I'm actually going in the opposite of this. I do think that they've built up New Catch Republic quite well. Do I think that they'll? But the thing is, it's like usually Elimination Chamber, the surprises happen in the chamber to find those opponents. You don't see too many things change the literal show before WrestleMania. So when it comes to titles, like I'm pretty torn on this. It's like, would it be a good time for them to lose the titles? Yes, I think so. But will they lose them and change the WrestleMania matchups? Thing is, they don't really have a WrestleMania matchup set in stone for Judgment Day yet, like they do with say like the Cody match or something like that. Like you knew Reigns wasn't going to lose the title because that's what they're going to be having at WrestleMania. So yeah, I don't know. This one's a tough one to call, but I do feel that Judgment Day will be the ones that come out with the win as well. Though I think it's going to be a close match. I don't think R-Truth is going to mess things up for them just yet.
The only thing that I have to say about the tag team titles is it's just time to split them up. There's so many good tag teams on both Raw and SmackDown where the tag team titles can just be split up.
Yes.
It's
But that's the other thing. If they lose, do they lose the whole thing, or does it? If they lose, would it be like a split title?
I think that it's gonna stick with they're gonna stick with the split titles, and I feel like the Raw after WrestleMania is when they're going to announce we don't need both of these titles. It's time to finally go back to traditional tag team wrestling, traditional tag team titles, two on each brand, and even involving the titles. Weirdly enough, like I've sat there, they should add one more title to the women's mid card.
Okay, I can see that working out. Okay, that's that's an interesting thought, and it looks like Jeff is going with Judgment Day as well. So okay, all right. So let's look at our next matchup. We got the men's Elimination Chamber match.
This is including Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, and L.A. Knight.
Yeah. So out of this group, I want Drew McIntyre to win. Do I think he'll win? Well, there are a few potential winners of this. Logan Paul, unfortunately, is one of them. So out of this group, I think it's between three people. I think it's between McIntyre, Paul, and LA Knight. Personally, I would love Kevin Owens or McIntyre to win it, because those two are out of the group. Those two are my absolute favorites. But when it comes to WrestleMania storylines and whatnot, I do believe it will be one of those three. I think it will be McIntyre, Paul, or Knight. Out of the group, I would love it to be McIntyre because of all the shit he's doing. But I think they're going to be bringing him. I think they're probably going to be holding him at a steady pace until CM Punk comes back.
Okay.
So I think that they're going to be pulling him into that. So out of that group, I don't see Logan Paul in a WrestleMania main event just yet. Even though he's a smarmy piece of crap. So out of that group, I think I'm gonna throw my horses behind LA Knight. So my prediction is gonna be LA Knight.
So there's a lot of storylines that are gonna come out of this, but out of this, not just out of this one, but just out of Elimination Chamber and whole, I think there's gonna be a lot more coming out of the women's than there are the men's. But there's gonna be, I think, two real big ones. There's gonna be obviously the winner getting Seth, and then Logan Paul's contender at WrestleMania.
Okay.
Things are going to happen. Things are going to go on. I don't know exactly, obviously, but I think it'll be LA Knight eliminating Logan Paul in the Elimination Chamber to put his stake in the claim for the United States title at WrestleMania, which I think LA Knight should win. But for the winner of this match, it has to be Drew. It has to be.
Okay.
When the original plans seemed to be CM Punk, and it seemed to be Punk Rollins being the main event of Night 1 WrestleMania until Punk's injury at elimination at the Royal Rumble, it seemed it just was all signs pointed to Punk. And then once Punk was hurt, Drew was the perfect fallback man. And on top of all that, Drew is perfect to win because he deserves his moment at WrestleMania. So he'll get his big moment in Australia when he wins the Elimination Chamber. But then when he goes to WrestleMania and takes on Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship and wins it, he'll finally get what he deserves. The World Heavyweight Championship back on his shoulder, and the crowd behind him finally for a win.
Okay.
Him winning a world title in front of a crowd.
Okay. All right. Okay. No, that's a very well thought out reasoning. That's good. No, that's supposed to be Kevin Owens. Yeah. Fight Owens, fight. All right. And it looks like Jeff was also going with Drew as well. So I will mark those down. All right. Up next, we got ourselves the women's elimination chamber match. We got
Raquel Gonzalez.
We got 5. We got 5 listed right now.
Listed there. It was actually determined on Monday night that Raquel, I think it's Raquel Rodriguez, will be the last entrant in the women's elimination chamber. She won the battle royal on Monday night to put her claim in. So the 6 will be Raquel Rodriguez, Naomi, Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch, Bianca, and Tiffany Stratton.
Okay. I'll let you go into the description this time. I did first last time.
So, like I was saying before, there's a lot of storylines that are going to come out of this one specifically, and I view a couple out of this. I view Bianca's opponent. I don't think it's going to be Jade Cargill, weirdly enough, because if it was, she would be in this. I think she would be in this match having something. She was pulled at the last minute, so it's really, really tough. But there's an opponent right there for Bianca in Tiffany Stratton. I think the first thread for WrestleMania we're going to see is Tiffany Stratton being the one to get rid of Bianca, and Bianca and Tiffany having a great match at WrestleMania. Number 2, I think we're going to see something between Liv and Raquel breakdown, because weirdly enough, in the women's elimination chamber, we've seen a lot of the tag teams just break apart. The biggest one being Bailey and Sasha.
I'm still annoyed that they broke up Damage Control this soon. I really am. I think it was too soon. I think they should have saved that breakup feud for WrestleMania, or not WrestleMania, for SummerSlam.
I think for that specifically, I think Bailey needs to win this. I think she's gonna beat Io. Personally.
I think so too. But that's for our WrestleMania predictions later on.
Yeah. And to finish off for this, we're going to see the number 1 contender for Rhea Ripley. And I do agree with you, Jeff. It is going to be Becky Lynch. I don't know how much I love the idea of Becky going after it again, but they've done everything. But the WWE has done everything in their power to keep Becky away from Rhea. They've done everything.
Yeah.
And they've just started to clash right around Rumble, where Becky goes out, needs to fight her way back up. She needs to redeem herself, which if she needs to fight her way back up, I kind of can see Becky starting the Royal Rumble. Starting the Elimination Chamber, because she needs to redeem herself. She needs to build herself back up. It would be really awesome to see a 1-2 of Becky Tiffy or Becky Naomi.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of in agreement. There are too many other angles going on right now, and having anyone but Becky Lynch really go after Rhea Ripley would kind of throw a monkey wrench in a few other things happening at the moment. Do I think it will? But then again, it could they could throw us a screwball and have it be that mystery opponent, and have the mystery opponent pull out a win. So, but until I know who that mystery opponent is, I can't. Well, it's like I could throw the random gamble out, and tell you what, if they do announce this before, if they do announce the 6th person before the Elimination Chamber, and you want to change your vote, I will absolutely allow that. Like with all our predictions, you can change them, but as long as it's before the day of the pay-per-view, or if there's like a major shakeup. But going on Jeff's comment there, they probably wouldn't break up Damage Control at SummerSlam because that's when Judgment Day implodes. I see your point on that. I can. No, I do see your point on that. Do I agree with it? Maybe, but it's Judgment Day imploding would definitely be a big four type of rivalry breakup or faction breakup, and you don't want to have all the factions break up on the same show. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's kind of the logic I'm going on. It might be Michelle, so or even, it might even be Jade Cargill. They might throw her in there and just have her surprise everyone. Who knows? But we'll see what happens. Out of what we know, I do agree. I think it will be Becky Lynch. But depending on that 6th spot, we'll see if I change my vote on that one and whatnot. So, but right now I do agree Becky Lynch. So, yep. And finally, we got the Women's World Championship match. So, yeah, we got a couple titles and a couple chambers. We got Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. So yeah.
All I'm gonna say is Mommy's not losing.
I
Not in her
really,
home
really, 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 really hope not. So, it would be
Not
a
in her home country.
major, super ultra mega mistake to have Ripley lose on any show that's not WrestleMania right now, especially not to Nia Jax.
I do think that Nia Jax has had a good resurgence in her latest run. Obviously, her match against Becky of more recent memory was actually, in my opinion, Nia's best match, and she could arguably also have her best match against Rhea. I don't see it happening here. I think she's better. I think Nia personally has better chemistry with Becky, but there's just no way Nia's winning this. She can have all the momentum in the world. She can squash all 6 of the Elimination Chamber participants on Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's still gonna lose. They need to make Nia look as strong as possible to just have Rhea be this huge hometown win.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be Rhea.
Absolutely. But yeah, so it's like it's one of those things that adds, and yeah, I do agree with Jeff right there. It's like she needs to look strong going to WrestleMania. Having building up Nia Jax for this match, I think was a decent idea because all right, you beat the monster, great. And the only thing I worry about is if Nia Jax flubs something and Rhea Ripley gets hurt. Yeah. That's what I worry about.
Because
she has the history of hurting people. She has improved. I will give her that. And I hope it stays that way.
I agree.
So, but yeah, no, this one is pretty straightforward pick. Rhea Ripley, I think across the board. Yeah. So I will try to get Davion and Ryan's predictions as well going forward. So, but that here is what we currently have. Let me stop sharing that. Let's go back to that. Present. Share screen. Boop, 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 boop. Window that. Spot. All right. So yep. We got out of the 4 matches. It looks like we are pretty much in agreement on most of them across the board, with the only difference being that I'm going with LA Knight in the men's chamber, and you're going, and you and Jeff both went with Drew McIntyre. So, it kind of like with the Royal Rumble, it feels like it's pretty predictable, at least going into WrestleMania. But the only difference is it's hard to pick a winner of an Elimination Chamber, given that there are 6 participants in them, and it's not like any of them are going to be an LOL Reigns wins types of situation. So yeah, so yeah, we'll see what I'll see what Davion and Ryan get. Hopefully they'll be able to get their predictions in before the show. And but yeah, so I believe that about does it for Jabronis United today. Lot of fun stuff to talk about. Thank you very much again, Jeff, for all the comments. Helps the show go quite well. For hopefully we'll have Ryan and Davion back with us with Caden as well and myself, and hopefully see y'all next week for Jabronis United. I am the sniper Kyle Krieger, and with me today is the big C, Mr. Caden. And thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you next time.